Right, I might get partially scientific on this one. I do have the spectacles at the ready should I wish to bust into the scientific character. So, the point I never finished making was about taking a releaser rather than a reuptake inhibitor. So, basically, if you're going to trial a med, try and trial a releaser rather than a reuptake inhibitor would be my advice, having used both. Because reuptake inhibitors can take weeks to work and they have to titrate you up on them. So you don't really know any results for quite a long fucking time. And like when I came off the concerto, because I fucking hated them by the end, I just stopped them. And it was like, at that time I was only seeing him every 6 months. At the start, way back when, before everything started going tits up, fucking fortunate I was already seeing a psychiatrist. I remember focusing on it because it's hard to get to see a psychiatrist. And, you know, perhaps I would just still be walking around thinking I'm supposed to be mentally well. And this all got spotted, like I say, from going for psychology. It's turned into a psychiatric assessment as he got to know me. Ta-da! He discovered my hilariousness that lurked within. And I blossomed. The pain made me blossom, in a way, in a big way. But yeah, that was actually a thinkoid. No, finish the point, Mikey. Finish the point. So yeah, I just stopped him when I came off of Concerta. But when I came off of Equasim, as he called him, I think most English people call him Equisim. But Dr. Blooperty is not native to this country, so he calls them Equasim. He pronounces his known name differently to everyone else's. Felt it's really funny when I say his real name. People go, "Who?" I'm like, that's how he says it. If I were you, I'd call him what he says his name is. Don't pronounce it in English. Anyway, finish the point, Mike. Yeah, when I came off Equasim, see, I am staying with it. He was like titrating me right down really quite slowly. I think, what was I on? Around about 50 or 40? I think it was 40 in the end. A 30 and a 10, I think I was on. Then it went down 30, and then it went down 20, and then he was taking it down quite slow and checking in with me, and then I'll see you in 3 months and stuff like that. And I think it got to the last 10 and I fucked him off again, because that was when he missed an appointment and whatever, and I was like, fucking, what am I taking 10s for? They're doing fuck all anyway. I was on fucking 40 a day, and now I'm on a quarter of that. It's like, what's it going to be doing? So I just jogged him on. So the point being, you can have quite a long period of adjustment going onto them and coming off of them. Whereas, you know, taking a releaser, I was marveling on the very first day at what seemed to be a very clear, and that, you know, it did happen big on the first day, but there's been a few other days when it's been like that. And there is just I noticed there's a difference in my clarity and my I can't remember the term. It's a banging term, and it means like staying with the subject as you're talking to someone, as the subject sort of wanders around, maintaining it. And it's maintaining a something with something. I can't remember what it is. Something of something, and I love it. So I almost said, but yeah, then, and I stopped myself. But taking a releaser, there was that instant start. And then yesterday, what seemed like an instant stop when I forgot it. And I really did crash. I really did. It was just, you know, I didn't intend. Sometimes I do like a day nap. If I've had a busy morning, I like a day nap. And I'll proper get into bed and draw the curtains and think, like, I'm going to have a couple of hours. And I set an alarm and I go to proper sleep. I don't just rest my eyelids for half an hour on the sofa and shit like that. That's not a nap. It's not a fucking nap. Him, he comes and naps with me. Little head popped up. He comes and naps with me, and then when I wake up, he looks at me like, "What the fuck are we waking up for?" I thought we were napping. This guy can nap for fucking England and Scotland and Wales. He could nap. He's just a world champion at napping, like most cats. But yes, it's oh, I said but yes. My but yeah has gone middle class. Hi, but yes. Mike radio teeth. Um, that was the other point that I never made from the other video that I tried to make, I think twice, was that I would like to get to a point with this med that I'm using it as and when I need it. And that would be the thing with going up. It's like if I get a second, you know, if I get this kind of sort of spike that keeps me going for a few hours, and then there's that post lunchtime, mid-afternoon lull, if I took the next one, then would that affect my sleeping and all of that sort of stuff? Because I just think, you know, going up to that height isn't producing any adverse side effects, and it's given me quite a lot of what I'm capable of doing. So either double that so I can get right up to where I need to be, or introduce it in 2 steps. Don't know which would be the best way around, because if I go up too high I might risk a much bigger crash, because the more you peak the more your body's going to fight it and try and normalize it again. So it'd probably be best to do it in 2 hits and then just see how I sleep. But I think there's a definite rationale for it. You know, you have to be careful. You have to be very careful when you ask for meds. Like I said, on the day I was going to ask for them, I'm going to ask for them, and I'm going to name the ones that I want to try. You know, usually if you do that to a doctor, I mean, this is a Class A controlled medication that I'm being prescribed unlicensed, because it's supposed to be indicated for children with ADHD. But obviously doctors are autonomous and they can prescribe unlicensed medicines. Like a lot of them prescribe amitriptyline. Most people on amitriptyline, it's unlicensed because they give it as an antidepressant and a sleeping pill, but it's actually a neuropathic painkiller. In the same way that Brasso would say, if you clean your car bumpers with our product and it works, fine, good for you. But don't come to us and say, hang on a minute, it's made my car bumpers go all tarnished, and say, well, you're supposed to be using it on fucking brass indoors. That's what we made it for. It's that sort of thing. But, you know, usually asking for a medicine of that sort of level of control is a bit like, they would frown upon this medication-seeking behaviour and all of that. So, you know, I wouldn't want to clamour on about the meds to him, but I don't think he would, you know, I don't think he would take it that way with me. It was like with Dr. Bleeperty when I was talking about personality disorders, and I said something along the lines of, you know I could possibly be talking myself into it because I've read something, and that's what other people would say. You know, I had it said years and years ago from a student psych nurse that ADHD is more likely to be EUPD and all that sort of stuff. So people would say, well, that was in your brain. Now you've read a list of symptoms and you've gone, I do that. Anyone could read that list of symptoms and go, I do that. That's the thinking that's out there, that it's just this list of symptoms that everyone goes, oh, I've got that. And they go and see a doctor who says, you have got that. Take these pills and get signed off work. That's always the fucking pattern that people think about. I'll sign you off work, and then here's your 3-bedroom fucking detached house with a garden and nothing, and I've got to work paying for all that, and all that shit comes out. That's really not what the fucking world's like at all, but it's how it's described. But anyway, I've got a little bit lost there. I did get quite double sidetracked, didn't I? See, that was another one of the points of this video. I was going to see if you noticed a difference, because it was like an 11-minute video, and I took the pill at the start, then I've watched it back, and then I've left it like another 10 minutes, and now I've made this one. And I have kept with my points for this video right up until now, where I lost what I was saying completely. Yeah, I really did. I really fucking did. Anyway, that was my original bit of advice, was not advice really, but I think that's an advantage to taking a releaser, is you see it work straight away. And that would be the thing that I could do if he does say, yeah, you can go up if we discuss it, and it seems like a good idea. It would be very easy to just prescribe me 2 bottles of the same dose. And that, you know, I know he would leave it like that with me because he did before, and be like, well, how about I do this? Start taking 2 because you've got enough to cover it. If you don't like it, if it doesn't work for you, go back down to 1, and then you've just got your dose for another, you've got another bottle. So it will be probably, it'll just be 4 or 5 days earlier that you need to reorder it. Well, 4 or 5 days earlier than another month because of the days that you were taking 2. You just introduce it like that. And I'd kind of like to be like that because I wouldn't want to be taking medicine all the time. But then I just think, well, why not? It's just maintenance. It's just management. It's like some people take methadone. Some people are on methadone for 30 odd years. They haven't taken heroin in years. And they're just stable on a methadone script. Some people get trusted enough to take it home when they've been really stable for years and years and they're well known. People just take the stuff home. That's a Class A controlled medicine. So I'd like to think that I would be that kind of patient for them and I'm trusted enough. Because it's worth doing, I think. If I'm definitely seeing results that I can't argue with once they get to be very consistent, you sort of think, well, you can't odds it. As I say, can't odds it, mate. You can't. So, yeah, I really have fucking run out of steam, but I haven't run out of steam because I want to make more videos because it's still early and stuff. But I'll go and eat and whatever, and probably make another video in a bit because my head is busy.